Thank you for joining us this morning. Whether you're here for the very first time, which is awesome, or you're watching us online, hi to all our online family as well. It's good to see you. So, we are in the process of going through and talking about prosperity. And it's so interesting to me how that can really grab your mind and how sneaky your mind is when it comes to this stuff. So, I'm driving in this morning and I'm thinking to myself, man, I would love to get a dirty chai, which is just a Starbucks thing. All right, that's all I'm going to say. And it was interesting is that my mind went to, yeah, but it's $7.10 to get a chai. And by the time I put a tip on it, then it's going to be $8. Man, that's a lot of money, right? Now let me ask you a question. Thanks, Bobby. Let me ask you a question. Is that a lot of money? No, it's not. No, it's not. $8.10 is $8.10. That's all it is. There's no lot, there's no little. And yeah, we can sit there and say, yeah, but it's just a cup of coffee, Mike. I get it. But do you understand how limiting that is when we look at something and say whatever it is other than what it is? And it was so interesting to me because I thought to myself, where else do I do that in my life? Where else am I saying and limiting myself and limiting? Because ultimately, when you say, well, that's too much, what's the next thing that you say or tell yourself? No, no, no. So let me get this right. You're a powerful creator. We've been talking about prosperity. We've been talking about this thought or this idea, and we're going to talk a lot more about it in the talk. But you're sitting there as a divine creator, and we have all this opportunity to create whatever it is that we want in our life. And yet, if you're not careful, and this is where the subconscious mind really comes into this stuff, and this is why you really, 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 when you start working this stuff, if you want to call it that, what'll happen is you start to pay attention to what your mind is really telling you. Because there is a whole world going on behind the scenes in your subconscious mind that is really controlling everything in your life. And that's what this work, when you start doing it, is about. It's about this idea or thought that the subconscious mind is just this recorder that's constantly playing in the background. And it's based off of early perceptions, early ideas, early beliefs. And if you're not careful, then it can impact you. And when you start doing this work, then all of a sudden you realize, wow, like I never even really thought about that. And as I'm driving into work, I'm going like I said, like, how about for a car? How about for a house? How about for a vacation? How many times do I look at things and go, wow, that's really expensive, when the reality of it is what it is. It is what it is. Now, I can look at that and say, no, that I can do. But if, as a general rule of thumb, every single time I look at the cost of something, I say, that's expensive. And now the judgment behind the that's expensive is I can't afford it. I can't do this. I shouldn't do this. I don't have the money to do this. Then guess what? You start shutting everything down in terms of the universe, looking at you and going, no, but what do you really want? What do you really want? Like, what's in your heart? What is the thing that makes you sing? What is the thing that would be like, oh my God, this would be amazing? And then let the universe show you how to make that happen. But when we start down the road of it's too expensive, I can't afford this, it's too much, it's more than I have, then guess what? The universe has no choice but to follow your lead. That's how it works, folks. That's metaphysics 101 right there. But the thing that's exciting about that is that you can do something about it. So, in other words, we're not victim, we're not stuck. You can actually work on your own consciousness and start to create things from a different point of view. And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about today. So, having said that, super, super, super excited for you to be here. Thank you. All the things that you could have been doing this morning, you decided to show up here. And I'm just going to tell you every single Sunday how much I love you and how grateful I am that you actually took the time to show up and join us this morning. It means a lot. It means a lot to us as a community. It means a lot to me personally. So, again, whether you're watching us in person or you're seeing us online, just know that we are blessed to have you this morning and incredibly grateful that you're here. So, thank you for that.